All right, welcome to another edition of the Nerds Delight podcast. We're your host today, JayRow
and Crump Casso.
Welcome. We got a regular contributor back in the building.
What up, L1, aka the Black Uchiha.
Welcome back, man. Welcome back. Today's episode, we're going to talk about X-Men. So basically, this episode is just a general conversation about X-Men, like how we grew up on it, our favorite characters, any timeless battles that we remember, and if it's a timeless show today. Let's get it started. So we'll start with Black Uchiha first.
I think I got started just like with everybody. I remember back when we had Blockbuster. I remember I can't remember, it was either one episode was a movie that I got. It's probably an episode. It's basically when it was Rogue, Storm, and Cyclops was fighting Magneto, and they had the old school theme song up there. That started, and then came the Saturday morning cartoon shows with the X-Men, and then all the ones after that. So
yeah, I was gonna let you finish. I didn't want to interrupt, but yeah, that theme song was real.
Oh yeah.
And as soon as you heard that theme song, you knew, man. You like, it's time, man. Like everything else stopping. That's what we watching. What about you, Crump? How was your first experience with X-Men?
I mean, mine was kind of similar. Mine was mainly like everyone said, like the Saturday morning like cartoons. Again, like the theme song dropped, and I just like got into it. I didn't have like no crazy like origin story, nothing like that. Where I just started watching. It was like just one of those things. I was happy eating cereal or whatever, watching cartoons, and it came on, and I was like, "Oh, this is dope!" And I just kind of got into it after that. Yeah.
Yeah, mine is actually a mix of both of yours. Like Blockbuster obviously at the time was able to rent videos. There was this first joint, it was called Pride of the X-Men. It didn't have anything to do with the animated series that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. It was a separate one. It was like a pilot episode kind of thing. They put it on VHS, and it was called Pride of the X-Men. It had Kitty Pryde's first introduction to the X-Men, and they had all the other X-Men, and they had different costumes that we're used to seeing. It was like it was pretty dope. Like I was like, when I saw that, I was like, okay, because I'm so used to Batman, Ninja Turtles, and it was like my first. I'm like seeing them, I'm like, yo, these are pretty cool characters. Like everybody has their own individual personality. They're a team. They're led by Professor X, and they all have their own individual quirks and stuff that anyone can kind of relate to. You can pick and choose which character that you relate to the best. Right. And that, I mean, to be honest, like the show wasn't that good, but the characters were cool.
Right.
And then then later on down the road, that's when I got into the show y'all are talking about. That's what changed the game for me. That's what made me a complete X-Men fan. Yeah. So, I mean, for me, it was a wrap after that. Like, been an X-Men nerd ever since, even to this day.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and start like stating like false facts or whatever. Like, I don't know who was the the original super team, but I feel like that's probably the first time that I saw like a super team, like not just a Spider-Man, not just a Batman, it's like a whole collective of people with powers. So I thought that was really dope too. I think that's really like kind of intrigued me. They keep me like they're watching, like they got a whole squad with them, like everybody got powers. I thought that was dope.
Yeah. Yeah, they were my first.
Everybody's like, I said, like everybody's almost like a contributor. You don't have like one dude that's probably lacking. You know, right. Any episode, one person probably can, help out or help save the day or whatever.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Jordan. Like that was my first like introduction to a team of superheroes. Like Justice League was down the road, and Batman and his group was down the road. Like, but nah, of individual, like of a group of superpowered beings. This is my first introduction to that. It was a pretty cool introduction to it.
Yeah.
So, Elwin, who was your favorite X-Men?
Oh man, my favorite X-Men is the real leader, Wolverine, Weapon X. Yo. the walking apocalypse, yo. He done seen it all. He done started back in the the 1400s and all the way down to now, yo. You don't even know how old this dude is. He's still whooping ass, yo.
Wolverine is that
it's like how you watch there's like a mention of his past or whatever. It's like he's back in ancient Japan. He's over in like Russia. It's like, yo, this like, when is this dude gonna die, yo?
Yeah, it's crazy. Just crazy. Like he's like older than all these people, but he's still as young as like a 30 or 40-year-old.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy.
What about you, Crump?
Yeah. Wolverine dope. I'm gonna give like a complicated answer. So if we talking X-Men, strictly the team, it was Wolverine when I was younger. And I think that's because I didn't know, like I didn't have a vast knowledge of like everybody. Once I got a little older, I gotta say my favorite is probably Nightcrawler. I just love all the teleportation stuff. Like it's just real dope to me. Like I can't explain it. Just like the whole teleportation stuff just go like he be going crazy sometimes. Like it's dope to me. Like, and I know a lot of people didn't, and I didn't realize this till literally like a few months ago. But I know a lot of people didn't like the movies, but that scene in X2 with Nightcrawler, that very first scene, like the White House.
Oh, the White House.
Oh, yeah. Like hands down, like the most fire scene ever. So yeah, if we talking X-Men, I gotta go Nightcrawler. But specifically, if we're talking all of that, I don't say universe, but X-Men cartoon or whatever, my favorite is Juggernaut. I mean, I don't know if we count villains, but Juggernaut is my favorite. Juggernaut's my all-time favorite. Juggernaut.
Yeah, that dude was like 5, 4, 4.
Yeah, Juggernaut's my favorite.
Yo, Juggernaut was a fool too. Yo, the X-Men couldn't even beat him. Yo, this was one dude that this dude could not, like, he just couldn't be damaged. The only way that you could beat him was if you take his helmet off and hit him with psychic attacks.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yo, like the chime on what Crump said, like I like Juggernaut, and like when it went from like the original X-Men show to like X-Men Evolution, I don't know if y'all saw the scene where Juggernaut was in there and he was like talking trash to Cyclops. They were on like this bridge or this dam or whatever. And Cyclops like, yo, you want to see raw power? He just ripped the mask off and like this whole like Kamehameha wave just came out. Yo, and Juggernaut just standing there like, this ain't nothing.
Man, I didn't see that. Yeah, I'm about to go look that up. I didn't see that.
Yo, and then like I remember how like in the original X-Men they made this Juggernaut just so like yeah, you had to rip his helmet off to like to actually beat him. Like you had to be a strong psychic to get his helmet off or whatever.
Yeah.
But that time where they had that the Phoenix Saga and like the alien Superman with the Mohawk came through.
Oh yeah, Gladiator.
Yeah, Juggernaut came like, yo, I got this. Yo, he give him an uppercut and like dude just looked at him and then tossed him like miles away. When I was a kid, I saw that. Yo, my jaw dropped like everybody else. Like, yo, that's Juggernaut, yo.
Right. Drew, who's your favorite, Drew?
I'm gonna have to agree with Elwin, man. Wolverine, man. Wolverine was always my guy,
yeah.
Always. Like that dude was like always doing his own thing. He was like, I go where I want to go. Like this dude was like just the ultimate loner. Like always had the coolest stories, like the coolest characters he fought against. And then was just like, he was honestly the most developed character in the show. Or if we want to stick to the show. Or in the movies. The movies kind of centered around him, which was a bad thing. But he was the most.
It wasn't a bad thing.
It was, man, because like it's the X-Men, it's not Wolverine and the X-Men. You gotta make the other ones have good the character development too.
Hey, he's the most popular X-Men of all time, so they had to build around what's gonna say.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but you still have to you gotta get others interested in the other characters too.
They do, but so you gotta let the star shine. You have your star player, then you have role players around you.
Yeah, I won't go say he's not the strongest X-Men ever. Let's be real.
Who's the strongest X-Men?
Well, we can't count Phoenix because Phoenix is really not an X-Men. Storm. Storm.
You could throw Phoenix in there. You saw what happened in the movies.
But
X-Men 3.
Phoenix is more of a villain, though. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but you saw what happened in X-Men 3. Phoenix gave it his best shot, but Wolverine still came up in the end. You got to give it to him. I mean, come on, you got to give it to him.
Well, there's a lot to be said about X3. Come on now.
They let the real stars shine. I mean, you can say whatever about the movie. They let the real stars shine. The real leader came out. The real leader came out.
Man, let's be real. That movie was trash.
Hey, say what you want about it, but the real leader shine, yo. Like they done killed off all the weak links. Professor X, Cyclops, they got him out there like early, and then the real leader stepped up, which is it's just like the TV show. Like every time in the TV show when they had like a future like Flashpoint or whatever, who's always still there? Wolverine.
Because he was old, but dude didn't age at all.
But my point is, half the X-Men be dead already. Like, remember the time when they had Bishop up there?
Yeah.
And he walking Wolverine, they walking past the graves like the entire X-Men.
Yeah, because he don't age. He aged slower than everybody else. Everybody else aged gracefully.
They died out.
They died out because they don't have his abilities.
They don't know how to survive. That they ain't no ability. They couldn't survive. The real leader came out, man.
Man, Wolverine he's a goat, man. He's a goat. He's one of the goats, man. But he's not the strongest X-Men. Like you got Storm, you got Rogue, you got Professor X himself. Like I mean, Wolverine can't beat them.
How you can't?
Storm is a Omega level mutant. She can, like, before he gets close to her, she can float up in the sky and just use the elements to freeze him.
And Wolverine just break out of it. Don't forget about that Berserker Rage now. That Berserker Rage y'all be sleeping on.
I ain't sleeping on it, but like, dude, like how can he go up? He can't go up to the sky where she is.
Hey, she got to come down eventually.
And then Rogue got super strengths, flight, and still powers. She could take Wolverine's healing factor away.
She got to get close first, and before that happens, them arms gonna get sliced. How she gonna absorb in? Yo, I mean, come on, look at the people that Wolverine went up against. You got the Hulk. You got
Did he win though?
Did
he win against the Hulk? Did he win against the Hulk?
He didn't lose. I didn't say he won.
He didn't win either.
He didn't lose.
He didn't win either.
I mean, like I said, Wolverine, man, like I read where he healed himself back from like a drop of blood. Like that healing fat is like something.
How did he heal from a drop of blood? Like, so the only thing remaining for him was a drop of blood.
I mean, that's what I read. I mean, like I said,
ain't true, man. You gotta show.
Look it up. Look it up. Yo. Look it up. Yo,
look it up right now, man.
Stan Lee, yo.
I never
Stan
heard
Lee
that
did his thing.
That's too far-fetched.
Stan Lee did his thing when he curated Wolverine, yo.
Oh my goodness. You can't be. That's not true.
Hey, you gotta look it up, y'all read it, yo. Yo, Stan Lee did his thing. Like I don't know what, like I can't agree with everything Stan Lee did, but when he created Wolverine, he was on something. And if you look at it, yo, it's like I said, every time there's like a future event, like I remember the other time where there was something going on. It was like Wolverine Storm was like married or whatever. Mm-hmm. Cyclops, he looked like he mutated and had wings or whatever. Like Wolverine was leading them. It's always been Wolverine like leading the X-Men. Like you had Cyclops, saying do whatever with Professor X. He was the Boy Scout or whatever. But when it came down to save the day, like it's always been Wolverine. Like when the whole entire X-Men got captured in the with Mr. Sinister and back in the rainforest or whatever, who set them free? Wolverine.
Yeah.
When they doing the Dark Phoenix saga, when they had what's the group that try to lure the Phoenix into their group?
You saw with Cyclops' dad?
Remember when the Phoenix came back and
the Hellfire Club.
Yeah, they tried to lure Phoenix in there. All the X-Men got beat. Who saved the day again? Wolverine.
He didn't really say the day. Like he got knocked out when the Phoenix threw him to the thing, and he threw it to him. You remember he threw him to the door, and then they're like, "Get up, Wolverine!" And Wolverine's like, "Oh." He couldn't get up, man. It was like, Yo, I like Wolverine too, but I love Wolverine. But you gave him too many stats, man. That dude is not like he ain't stat heavy like that.
I mean, you ain't look at the stats. That's the problem. That's the problem.
No, I did. I'm looking it up right now. Like I'm looking it up right now. They said Wolverine is one of the most well-known mutants with a healing factor that allows him to heal from even the most life-threatening wounds. It does not say he heals from. Like, there's the only thing remaining for him is a drop of blood, and that develops into Wolverine. Stop.
I'm saying, like actually look it up, like for us comics wise. Like that's why I looked at it. Like
that's what I'm looking at.
Like it was something for like Wolverine's biggest accomplishment. Something I saw on Facebook, and I was reading it, and like I said, he literally healed from like a drop of blood.
I'm about to look too, but I'm about to look.
Because I don't believe this show. Like it's like too far fetched.
How like you not give Wolverine his credit, man. Like Stan Lee, I ain't gonna always agree with Stan Lee, but like I said, Wolverine is one of the greatest things he ever created. Like if you think about, like, you know what I'm saying, the entire, like, you ask anybody about X-Men, Wolverine's gonna be in the top 3, if not number 1, about, you know what I'm saying, anything about X-Men. He's majority in almost all the movies that they make. Like some way, somehow, where it's just like a cut scene or where it's like an after credit, like he's always in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And like starting off originally, like I liked Cyclops, but like I said, once I started checking out Wolverine and seeing him do the things he did and whatever, and getting more into the comics, like he became my favorite character.
Okay, so I found it, but I do feel like I need to look more into it though. Like I feel like I'm missing some.
So you found it for real? Is it true?
Yeah.
so a drop of blood, and then it created Wolverine.
So apparently, a drop of blood landed on the some crystal, and then that gave off enough energy for him to heal himself and like be reborn.
Hey man, that's a bad dude.
That is a crystal's power. Not him. You can't, like, it's not his ability.
He healed himself, not the crystal healed him.
The crystal was what gave him the extra power to reform himself.
The crystal just gave a little vibration. Wolverine did the rest, Like, come on, man. Like, give my boy some credit, man.
No, I love Wolverine too, but you being out of pocket though.
I can't tell, man. Like you bash this dude, like, give him his shine.
I'm not bashing Wolverine. Wolverine is my guy. Like, I'll be the first to tell you if, like, Wolverine, like, if that is like remotely true with his abilities, I would be like, Wolverine that dude. But I mean, Wolverine's still that dude, but he ain't that dude.
Like he that dude, I mean, like, come on, like, because like I said, a lot of people don't realize the stuff that happened in the comics, like all the stuff, like Wolverine, like getting his adamantium ripped out by, you know what I'm saying?
Apocalypse.
Magneto, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But his healing factor is I put it on, you know what I'm saying, omega level, Like, it just ain't no regular healing factor where everybody, like, this dude can almost damn near heal from, like I said, he just healed from a drop of blood. Like, it's not like, let's say he gets cut or he gets sick or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Remember when they had the Apocalypse had the disease or whatever that was killing mutants and humans, whatever? Yeah. It was Wolverine's healing factor that saved the day.
No, that is believable, because right here where I'm looking at, it says they describe Wolverine as altogether impervious to any infection, cancer, or autoimmune disorder. That explains some of his healing factors, most impressive feats. And it says that he's overcome being turned into a vampire, a werewolf, a brood alien. Like, stuff like that is believable. Like, that's believable because that's like a part of the healing factor. He's still alive. He's still functioning. It ain't like a drop of blood, just one little drop. That's all it's
you gotta look at it. Like all the mutants eventually like their powers evolved or whatever. It's like, matter of fact, remember when what was it, X-Men 2? I'm not X-Men 2, Wolverine, his second movie, where he was over in Japan and they dropped that nuclear bomb and he literally like shielded that dude from like the whole blast. and then heal back.
But remember though, he was deep underground.
It's still that whole blast still came inside.
Like some of it did, not all.
Matter of fact, I mean, if you want to go X-Men 3 again, like I said, with the Phoenix, she's shooting on saying all that fire, all that energy at him. And you can see how it's like it burned him almost to the skull. And he just quickly healed back. I mean, like I said, like the healing factor is something else. And like it don't, the cartoon didn't really do it justice. And then like the movies kind of put it almost in the limelight, but you got to go like further, especially when it comes to the comics. Like, because I remember the first time just looking it up, because I'm always curious, like saying about Wolverine, whatever. Like he got kind of a super strength, kind of super speed, not saying nothing crazy, but just because of the heavy adamantium inside of him, he's able like to jump higher than most people, move faster than most people, and stuff like that. Like his healing factor, I remember they said that, man, as long as his head was still attached to his body, he can heal from almost anything. Like another part of the comics, I remember when they said that like him and Sabretooth like used to get captured by soldiers either in Japan or Russia, and used to like just every day they used to shoot at them and they just heal back. They used to like just toy with them or whatever. Like stuff like that is just crazy to me, yo. Like that's why I put him on a omega level, because like it's not just okay, I cut myself, or hey, I grow my finger back or nothing. Like this dude can survive almost anything. Like at any time, it's gonna be like Dust, Cockroach, and Wolverine, yo. That's why like I didn't like his the last movie with Old Man Wolverine, Old Man Logan. I didn't like the fact that the animanium started making him sick or whatever.
Yeah, that was stupid.
So. But it was still a dope movie. It's still a dope movie, but I just like the whole the plot behind it.
I didn't like it. I didn't like
it. So
I didn't like it either. I mean, I thought it was like I guess that I understand why that movie was created. It was basically to give Hugh Jackman the ending that he deserved because of how he did this role for so many years. It was like more of a finale kind of thing. And, I get it, but I just didn't think it was believable, because how can all of a sudden the animanium that is poisoning him, he can, like, and we just read his healing factor feats, and all of a sudden his healing factor can't stop poisoning from animanium? Come on now.
I mean,
that was silly.
Like I said, I always don't agree with Stan Lee, because like I said, even the comics, the same thing. Like they said, like his healing factor won't work in. Animation's point is the body. I'm like, where you going with this, Stan Lee? Like, you can't kill off the greatest creation that you had.
Yeah. Well, in the comics, I don't think the animanium, there wasn't a storyline about the poisoning for the animanium. What it was,
it was based off that, because it was like either
go ahead.
Like Lone Wolverine, like the comic story, it's like either his healing factor would stop working, or he would get poisoned. It was something in between the two. And it's like his powers were fading away. It's like, how you do that if you're a mutant, Well,
I do remember you remember like you was telling me before. Well, you were telling us before about when Magneto ripped the animanium out. His healing factor was shot. So like it was after it saved him, it was shot. He couldn't do anything for a while. So like that's when he was Bone Claw Wolverine for a minute, because of the fact that he had to be careful, because a lot of the stuff that he used to be able to like kind of tank from and heal from, he couldn't heal from like he used to. So it wasn't until Apocalypse put the animanium back into him that made him back to what he was.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that. Dope.
So, but I mean, we could have a whole episode about Wolverine. But what I will touch you on, because I don't agree with what you just said, is about one of the things you just said was about how, like, you gotta give Cyclops his credit, man. Cyclops is a good leader. He was a really good leader. This dude, like, he's a great tactician. He's a good field general. Like, that's the reason why he's the leader of the X-Men.
Man, like I said, like when I first started watching X-Men, like Cyclops, he was my guy. Like, I like the optic blast and all that. Like he was my guy until, like I said, till Wolverine started shining. But it's like, as I grew up, like I had to look at it, and it's like, yo, if you didn't meet the qualifications, or if Cyclops didn't approve on if you either took, orders like you're supposed to, or be close like him, the Boy Scout, like he got rid of you. Like the scene with the Night of the Sentinels when Morph got shot, and Cyclops like, yo, we out.
Yeah.
And Wolverine tried to go, and he had Rogue, to stop Wolverine. I was like, yo, that's dirty, yo. Because if that was Jean,
they were gonna get killed though, Elwood.
If that was Jean, he would have sacrificed the whole X-Men, yo, just to get Jean back, yo. If that was Jean, yo, he would have sacrificed all of them.
Well, we know Jean is not in the field. She's not in the field.
She was with them.
She was not with them in that.
Oh, no, she was on the plane with Professor X. You right?
No,
right.
she wasn't even on the plane.
I thought she was playing with Professor X.
They were back at X-Mention.
No, Professor was on the plane.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, I could have sworn, yo.
Nah, they were in the danger room. No, not danger room.
You're right. Because when he got shot, Professor saw it through
Cerebro.
Yeah. But if that was Jean, yo, he would have threw out the whole X-Men, yo. He would have got recruits, yo. Came back. He would have got
the War Room. I'm thinking the War Room. The War Room. That's what it's, War Room.
Yeah. So like I said, I can't go with Cyclops' motive sometimes. It's like matter of fact, just like so you told me one time how Professor X and Cyclops was like, Wolverine, you can't, use your own you can't use the team for your own petty self, your petty difference. But Wolverine told him, but we supposed to do your dirty work, but I can't do my thing.
That was very hypocritical. That was very hypocritical. Joy, I don't know if you remember this. So you remember, so after the first episode of the X-Men, after they got through the two-parter with the Night of the Sentinels, the next episode was Enter Magneto. And on that same episode, Sabretooth was up there. Wolverine and Sabretooth blood enemies.
Right.
So part of the thing where Wolverine was about to take care of him, get him out of the dimension and stuff. And Professor X was talking about you can't have your personal vendettas here, mess up the team and stuff like that. And then they wouldn't even listen to Wolverine because Wolverine said, you guys don't know him. You guys don't know him. And then and Storm was like, that was how a lot of us thought about you when you first got here. And then Wolverine was like, get out of my way. And then when Magneto, he caused a disturbance to alert them, they had to go stop him. And then Wolverine threw Sabretooth's bed over to the side, and he stopped at the door and said, how come we got to trash your enemy, but we got to go easy on mine?
Wow. Yeah.
But he was bad hypocritical. Yeah. And then when the next episode after that, that's when Sabretooth was sent there to spy on them by Magneto. And then when Wolverine stopped them from hurting Jubilee, Professor X's like, what have I told you about your personal vendettas and the work we're doing for our team? And then Jubilee came to his defense, and then Wolverine was like, you're out of line, Professor. All I've ever did is Sabretooth hit him. And then at the end of the episode, Professor X said, I was wrong, Wolverine. I was wrong. I was like, see, you should have listened to him from the beginning. He was telling you the truth. Come on.
And Cyclops followed this dude to a T, man. Professor can't do no wrong in Cyclops' eye, yo.
Yeah. That's what I never liked about Cyclops. To Edward's point, I always feel like he was a great leader on paper. Well, even outside of paper, he was a good leader, but I just feel like he wasn't. To me, he didn't have that it factor to me that leader needs. I'm not saying that Wolverine was a leader either, but I feel like Wolverine did have that. He's willing to take risk and do more things. I feel like Cyclops was always cookie cutter. It's either this way or it's
y'all
not.
trying to say he didn't have no personality, basically what y'all trying to say.
Nah. It's it's like Cyclops. Cyclops is the prototype for what Professor X is trying to do as far as peace and everything, trying to get humans and whatever. Brings more the leader far as the war that's coming of trying to get these guys to know how to survive, whatever. That's the biggest difference. And I think at the time, I understand what Professor X wants, but you got to look at, man, this war, the war is coming, and I think you need more of Wolverine's side than Cyclops, because the fight's gonna come, and you got to survive the fight in order to get the peace first.
Yeah. Funny thing you say that. Actually, in the comics, like what happened was they actually switched philosophies. Like it was like in the 2010-ish, something like that. Cyclops was more militant, and Wolverine was the more of the peace lover. He was trying to do peace because that's when that schism storyline happened. If y'all look that schism storyline up, that's when the whole team got fractured down the middle. But this is after Professor X is gone, Jean is gone. It was like the team was split down the middle, like people who followed Wolverine and people who followed Cyclops. It was like a real bloody. It was real bloody. That fight between those two, it was bloody.
Because didn't Rogue lead the team all together? She hooked up with Magneto, right?
That's before. That happened before. Okay. But yeah, it was a bloody fight. It was like they were going for kills. They were going for kill shots. And they ended up because it was like so basically Cyclops was trying to kill to blow up this island, and Wolverine was like, nah, we can't cause lives, we can't cause casualties and stuff like that. And Cyclops didn't care. And he was trying to it was all about the end game. And then so they got into this big fight, and then there was a sentinel like that the sentinels that came to the island, they were trying to take them out while they were fighting each other. And it was just crazy. And then at the end of it all, they mutually said, we gotta go on our ways, because like as long as you stay out of my way, we'll stay out of your way and stuff like that. And it was crazy that like a lot of people shifted to Cyclops' side, but it was like a couple people that shifted to Wolverine's side. But then down the road, it was like some people started to migrate from Cyclops' side to Wolverine's side, like Storm. Storm had initially joined Cyclops, but she went on Wolverine's side because she didn't agree with a lot of stuff they were doing. And then, because Emma Frost was with Cyclops at the time. That's who Cyclops was with at the time. And Magneto was with Cyclops' side too. And I think Colossus was on Cyclops' side too. Kitty, Pride, Iceman, Storm, Beast. I'm just trying to think of the well-known people. Psylocke. They were more on Wolverine's side. And Gambit, was on Wolverine's side, and Rogue. But the other ones was on Cyclops' side.
Yo, Magneto join anybody's side as long as he gets to kill some humans, yo.
But yeah, that was a cool storyline.
Because when I was in college, I remember I had to do a paper on it was on something, and I think it was on like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. And I was like, well, they kind of did like, Stan Lee did like a comics reference to them, how you had Professor X who was, all about peace. And then Magneto was like, was all about, stay out my way. If you ain't with the mutants, it's by any means necessary.
Right.
Yeah. That's what it was, the X-Men was taken from, actually. Like, that was the inspiration from them to, like, it was because of the civil rights era that was going on outside of the comic world. Yeah, so you're right about that.
Yeah, I was down with Magneto, yo. Like, any means necessary, yo. Like, he gonna get his point across. But I mean, all time favorite villain, it got to be Apocalypse, yo. Like, matter of fact, Apocalypse, Apocalypse, man. He just I didn't even know he had like this much power. It's like I knew he was powerful, whatever. But the scene where he created that virus, and like the first time the X-Men destroyed it, and he just popped out of nowhere and got mad and just like obliterated the X-Men like a flash. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, I was cut off guard with that, yo. I was like, what? I was like,
that had that much power the whole time, didn't use it.
No, the whole time didn't even know. I thought he could just say, change his form, shoot blast, shield himself, whatever. I didn't know he had that much power, that much raw power in him.
I don't even remember that, man. I really got to go back and do some research. Like, I feel like I'm missing out on some good stuff. Like, I really don't remember that.
Yeah, that was on the show, Jordan. That was on the show.
That.
Yeah, that was the joint with the play.
That was that the first time Bishop came or second time?
Second time.
Yeah, second time Bishop showed up.
That's when Cable was with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the first time Cable came.
Yeah, that was Apocalypse was that dude, but he had control over matter, so an atom.
Yeah.
So, that dude was able to just do whatever he wanted to. And then he had like those scriptures for days.
Yeah, he had some quotables, like him. But the most dude that had the best quotable was what's the dude that was leader of the anti mutants?
Oh, he told Creed, Great and Creed.
Yeah, Creed, yo. Creed had me bugging, yo. That part where I think Julie was supposed to be infiltrating them, yo. And she showed up, saying, "Is this the mutant help center?" And yo, Creed didn't miss a beat. He was like, "Why don't you come in?" Yo, I was like, yo, this dude didn't miss a beat, yo.
Oh man, he knew a beat when he saw what. Oh man.
Yo, this dude, I don't know who's more racist, him or Frieza, yo. Like this dude hated mutant, yo. He hates mutant.
But he really does, though. He really does.
Yo, because I remember the same episode, Jubilee was like, "Yo, like, what do we do to you? Why you hate us?" And Creed was like, "You was born." I was like,
he said, "You were."
Lines,
he was like, "You were born."
he just said right into it, like it won't nothing to him. Like, yo, you was born.
Hey, on that note, let's wrap it up for part 2. Let's end it right now. Thank you for attending this episode of the General X-Men Conversation. We'll pick this up on part 2 later on. Peace.